Baby, don't check for me. Taking time out to be and live my life off screen. Taking time out to be and live my life. Hey. Taking just so deep and live my life. Don't take it personal.
Hey boo, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna get into some contour and highlighting. I know many of us struggle with contouring and highlighting, but don't worry sis, I got you. Looking at the picture above, I want you to focus on inside and outside. When it comes to contouring, I want you to remember the outside. And when it comes to highlighting, I want you to remember the inside. Let's go. Let's start with concealer. And when getting your concealer, you want to make sure your concealer shade is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your normal skin complexion. Okay, so with concealer, remember I said in the beginning, we're going to focus on the inside. So we're going to go under our eyes, the bridge of our nose, our chin, and our forehead. As a beginner, I would advise you to use a light hand. I would rather you put less concealer than more, remembering that this is one of your first times doing the contour and highlighting method. It doesn't really matter how you apply it as long as you apply it, sis. Moving right along, so we're gonna start blending. You have two options. Either you can use a beauty blender or you can go ahead and use a brush. No matter what you use, it has to be damped. So I'm going to take my water bottle here and I'm going to spray my brush. Now we're going to move into blending under the eye. So instead of like using smearing motions, like going up and down, you want to make sure you're patting that concealer into the right place. Some of you may be visual learners like myself, so as I'm explaining where I'm placing this concealer, I also want you to pay close attention at where I'm placing the concealer. And as you're dabbing the brush in the concealer to move it around, I want you to make sure you're tapping it into the skin, because while we're blending, we want everything to blend well. We want everything to be seamless. You don't want to be able to see where the concealer start or where the concealer end. I do know that at the top and at the bottom, you're going to get a line of demarcation. But hold on, sis. We'll take care of that once we jump into the contouring phase. And as we did on one side, we have to make sure we do the same exact thing on the other. Let me know in the comments below, what is your biggest struggle when it comes to doing a full face of makeup? Woo child, we done put the concealer up under our eye and we still got some more concealing to do. And men wonder why we take so long to get ready when we doing a full face of makeup. But take your time, sis. There's no rush here. And when it comes to the forehead, I stick to about halfway the eyebrow, and then I take it up, and then I do the same thing on the other side. Now, others may bring it all the way across their forehead, focusing on the inside. Remember, because concealer is on the inside. But they focus on the entire forehead, but I don't do that. So it's to your discretion on what you would like to do. It's up to you, sis. While doing my makeup, periodically I'll stop to look and make sure everything is seamless, because we got to blend for our life, sis. We need a seamless look. Moving right along. Now let's set that concealer we placed. We're going to use Airspun today. We're going to go under our eyes, the bridge of our nose, our chin, and our forehead. So let's go ahead and take our brush, the brush of our choice, dip it into the powder, and place the translucent powder on each area we've placed the concealer to highlight our face. And the reason we need to do this is to set the concealer. You want it to stay in place. You don't want it to move. And this also helps with transferring to clothes or to whatever presses up against your face. And again, as beginners, I do not advise you to use a ton of translucent powder. I'm going to say it again. I do not advise you to use a lot of translucent powder. As long as your concealer is covered, you're good, sis. And as well with this translucent powder, you want to make sure that it is blended in as much as possible. I know others may bake, but for me, it doesn't work for me. So all I do is get the powder and I put it up under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, my chin, and my forehead, and I make sure that I pat it into my skin. Okay, y'all, let's get into contouring. So to contour, I'm going to use the Juvia's Place The Chocolates palette, only because I haven't found a concealer dark enough for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use the darkest shade in the palette. Remember, with the contouring stage, we want to focus on the outside. So I'm making this face because it kind of helps you align the outside with your lips. So you're going to go right up under the area that you place your highlighting concealer. As you can see right here, I went in a little too deep. Use as less product as possible. You don't even have to pull it all the way down the way I did. You can stop about halfway. And again, as less product as possible. Once you get the technique down pat, then you can put on as much as possible or however much you like. Don't forget to blend, sis. Now, instead of tapping like we did the concealer to highlight, we're going to go into circular motions. Don't stop until it's well blended. This step is optional. I'm going to use the translucent powder right up under the area where I contoured to give it a more sharpened look. Don't forget to blend, sis. What we do on one side, we must do on the other. Because I went in a little too deep with my contouring, I had to use my foundation brush just to kind of clean it up a bit. If you find yourself in this situation, do not add any more product to your brush. Use the product that's already on your brush. Let's snatch that nose, sis. Go ahead and contour the sides of your nose. Again, let me remind you, as less product as possible. And I know you're wondering why I keep saying as less product as possible, but I'd rather you start small and build up until you get the desired look you're looking for, because it's easier to add more than take off. And as you can see, when it comes to blending that contour shade on my nose, I use whatever it takes. Majority of the time, I use my fingers in this area. Now that the highlighting and the contouring is done, I threw in a little bonus for y'all just because I love y'all so much. So we are going to go ahead and put on our blush. And for blush, today we are going to go into the Juvia's Place Sahara Blush Palette Volume 1. We're going to take the second and the last shade. The blush goes on the apples of your cheek. And if you don't know where the apple of your cheek is, sis, go ahead and smile. In the area that pokes out, that's the apple of your cheek. If you look, you can also tell that the blush is going right on top of the area up under your eye that you contoured. What you do on one side has to be done on the other. It's illuminator time. And we're going to place that illuminator right up under our eye and right above our cheek. This is also what we call glow, honey. Lastly, let's go ahead and illuminate our nose in our cupid's bow. I'm a little extra, y'all. I put it on my top lip as well. Okay, girl, you cute and stuff. Even without lashes, you cute. But wait a minute. Now you in the game. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.